London's approach to crime and punishment in the medieval period was very different from today. Prisons were not designed for long-term sentences, but served mainly as holding places for those awaiting trial or execution. One of the earliest and most notorious was Newgate Prison, established in the 12th century. It became infamous for its overcrowded, dark, and unsanitary cells. Debtors, petty thieves, and accused criminals shared cramped spaces with little food and minimal hygiene. Imprisonment was often temporary, leading to corporal punishment, public flogging, or execution. Despite the harsh conditions, these early prisons reflected the city as attempts to maintain law and order during a time of social and political instability. Guards were frequently corrupt, and disease spread quickly among inmates. Yet, even in these grim conditions, prisoners found ways to survive. Early forms of accountability and containment set the foundation for later reforms. These medieval prisons were more than places of confinement. They were symbols of justice, fear, and social hierarchy. The story of these origins is critical to understanding how London's penal system would evolve over the centuries, shaping not only the fate of prisoners but also the moral and legal landscape of the city. Newgate Prison stands as a symbol of London's early penal history. Over the centuries, it held a diverse range of prisoners, from minor offenders to infamous criminals. Its notoriety grew due to public executions, which drew crowds eager to witness justice firsthand. Conditions inside Newgate were harsh cells, were overcrowded, poorly ventilated, and infested with vermin. Corruption among guards meant prisoners often faced additional suffering, paying for privileges or protection. Despite this, Newgate also became a site of reform. By the 18th century, social reformers began campaigning to improve living conditions, sanitation, and prisoner treatment. These early efforts marked the beginnings of a shift from purely punitive measures toward more humane approaches. Newgate's story illustrates the complexity of early imprisonment. It was a place of fear, punishment, and social control, yet also a catalyst for reform and public awareness of the inhumanity of prison conditions. The prison's walls witnessed countless human dramas: desperation, crime, punishment, and even occasional redemption. Understanding Newgate Prison is essential to grasping the evolution of London's penal system and the changing philosophies behind incarceration, punishment, and rehabilitation over time. The 18th and 19th centuries brought dramatic changes to London's prisons. Reformers such as John Howard and Elizabeth Fry emerged, challenging the brutal and inhumane conditions faced by inmates. Howard, a pioneering prison inspector, advocated for cleanliness, proper nutrition, and better ventilation, believing that humane treatment could reduce disease and improve prisoner behavior. Fry, a Quaker reformer, focused on female prisoners, teaching them skills and emphasizing moral rehabilitation. These efforts reflected a growing belief that prisons should serve not only to punish but also to reform. Overcrowding remained a major issue, particularly in debtors' prisons, which trapped individuals in cycles of poverty. The introduction of work programs, education, and religious instruction aimed to prepare prisoners for reintegration into society. Reformers also highlighted the inequalities of the system, exposing how wealth and status could influence sentencing and treatment. These humanitarian efforts laid the groundwork for modern penology, shifting the focus from retribution to rehabilitation. London's prisons became laboratories for social change, testing new ideas about justice, morality, and the potential for transformation within the penal system. In the 19th century, London introduced the separate system, a radical approach designed to encourage reflection and moral reform through isolation. Pentonville Prison, opened in 1842, became a model for this philosophy. Prisoners spent most of their time in solitary confinement, engaged in work, education, and religious instruction. The goal was to prevent corruption and moral decay that could occur when inmates interacted closely. While the system aimed to promote rehabilitation, it was not without controversy. Extended isolation often caused psychological distress, and critics argued that it could worsen mental health rather than improve character. Despite its challenges, the separate system marked a significant shift in prison management, emphasizing discipline, structure, and the potential for moral transformation. Pentonville and similar facilities reflected the Victorian-era's belief in moral reform and the power of structured routines. This period also highlighted a growing societal awareness that imprisonment should serve a purpose beyond punishment, balancing public safety with the potential for rehabilitation. The separate system's legacy can still be seen in modern correctional philosophies, influencing contemporary debates on solitary confinement, prisoner rights, and rehabilitation programs. The 20th century brought modernization to London's prison system. World wars, urban growth, and shifting social attitudes prompted reforms to address overcrowding, health, and rehabilitation. High-profile inspections and studies led to improvements in sanitation, architecture, and prisoner management. Vocational training, education programs, and mental health services became more common, reflecting a growing emphasis on reintegration and reducing recidivism. Debtors' prisons were abolished, and sentencing policies gradually became more equitable. London also faced new challenges, including gang activity, political prisoners, and complex security needs. Prisons such as HMP Brixton, HMP Wandsworth, and HMP Belmarsh represented modern correctional facilities, incorporating both security and rehabilitation measures. Despite progress, tensions between punishment and rehabilitation persisted. The 20th century highlighted the complexity of balancing public safety, humane treatment, and social responsibility. By addressing both the needs of society and prisoners, London's correctional system evolved into a more structured and systematic approach, setting the stage for contemporary practices in criminal justice. Today, London's prisons continue to reflect the city's history of crime, punishment, and reform. Facilities focused on security, rehabilitation, and preparing inmates for life after release. Programs addressing education, mental health, and vocational training aim to reduce recidivism and support reintegration. Modern prisons also face persistent challenges, including overcrowding, gangbulance, and mental health crises. The lessons of history remain relevant. Humane treatment, fair sentencing, and rehabilitation are central to create an effective and just system. London's prisons are not merely sites of confinement, they are mirrors, reflecting social values, legal philosophies, and moral considerations across centuries. From the dark cells of medieval Newgate to the structured programs of contemporary facilities, the evolution of London's prisons tells a story of human resilience, societal change, and the enduring pursuit of justice. Studying this history helps society understand the complex balance between punishment and reform, reminding us that prisons, while places of restriction, also carry the potential for transformation, learning, and redemption. London's prison legacy remains a testament to the city's ongoing struggle to administer justice while upholding human dignity. The history of London's prisons is more than a story of crime and punishment. It is a mirror of society itself. From the grim medieval cells of Newgate to the structured, modern facilities of today, these prisons reveal the evolving values, fears, and aspirations of the city. They tell a story of human suffering, resilience, and the persistent pursuit of justice. Each reform, each challenge, and each lesson has shaped a system that strives to balance security with humanity, punishment with rehabilitation. As we reflect on this history, we are reminded that the purpose of incarceration extends beyond confinement. It is about accountability, fairness, and the hope for transformation. London's prisons stand as living monuments, reflecting centuries of social change and the ongoing quest to uphold human dignity. In understanding their past, we gain insight into the challenges and responsibilities of the present and the enduring importance of justice in shaping a society that values both safety and humanity.